Hey, Cheryl here to do the review recap of Pose episode 6 titled Love is the Message. I know that I am extremely late with this review and recap, so I'm not going to keep you long. I'm just going to hit some of the most important part because episode 7 will be coming tomorrow. We start out with Patty and Angel finally coming together and having the discussion about Stan and how she found out that Angel is not a real woman. Matt, Stan's boss, basically came and spilled all the tea and told Patty all of the information, gave Patty the address as to where Stan has been renting the apartment. And so Patty decides that she wants to go and find out what her husband is doing. So she goes to a ball. And there she meets Angel. When she rode into the ball scene in the ballroom, she had no idea what she was rolling into. When she rode into the ball scene, she basically saw the woman that basically Stan had been stepping out on. She had no idea that Angel was a trans woman. So we see in episode 6 that Patty and Angel is basically sitting down and having the conversation. And Patty asks Angel to stand basically tell you that he loved you. And Angel was very honest with her, very relaxed with her, had no, issue of basically telling what was going on in the relationship of her and Stan. But she also told Patty that they are no longer together. And so, how she was going on, and Angel, I love the fact that Angel told Patty that um, she felt like that she was a toy, actually. And the reason why she felt like a toy is because Stan really didn't come there too often, but when he did, um, and she described him as to taking her off of the shelf and decide that he wants to play with her. She felt very uncomfortable, and she basically wanted more. And so this is when we find out that Patty had a hard time in accepting that the fact that Angel was a trans woman. And so she asked Angel, well, why are you, when they were at the ballroom and they now at the restaurant, well, why are you around all of these trans um, women? Why are you around all of these drag women? And Angel basically told her in so many words, that is my community. That's my community. That's who I am. That's me. And so basically, Patty didn't really, wanted to believe that the fact that Angel was a woman. She told Angel, she says, I see a woman. And so Angel was very much flattered to the fact that Patty sees her as a woman, and basically she is. And so, but she also wanted Angel to prove that she was was a woman and not a man. And so that's when Angel said she, in so many words, say now you're stepping on over boundaries here. And so then we go on and we find out Patty basically after they had this candid conversation. Angel asked Patty, do you believe Stan can basically love both of us? And so Patty really didn't have an answer. If she did, I don't remember the answer, but she really didn't have an answer for Angel. So basically, she left. And then we see the next day that Patty decides that she wants to visit her doctor. And basically, her doctor was one of those doctors that delivered both of her kids. And so Patty decided to go and get a complete physical again to check for STDs and other venereal diseases. And the doctor was basically wondering, why do you want to go and get this examination? I know your body. I delivered both of your kids. And so this is when the doctor asked Patty, well, who basically stepped outside of the marriage, and he come to find out it was basically Stan. So she says, well, look, I mean, he says, well, look, I am going to do this confidential because back in them days, they were basically would flag you, would put a red flag, and I guess that's a strike against your insurance company. Because remember, HIV and AIDS, especially to the medical community, was still new, and they were still trying to figure out, how to basically test and treat this disease. And so the reason why we find out that Patty goes and have, an ST examination for venereal diseases because she asked back at the restaurant, um, how did you all have sex? Did he use protection? And Angel says basically, yes, we used protection every time that we got together. And basically they did. Unlike and Ricky and his partner. And so we find out that Patty is basically, she doesn't have, any symptoms. She doesn't have the virus. And so basically she's clear. And so we go on, and this is when we find out that we at the ball, and we're finding that the category is Butch Queen realness. And basically, that category is men who are gay, but they can basically pass. You have no idea that they are gay men, that they love being around trans women, they love being around the ball scenes, but they are gay, and you wouldn't even know that they were until you have some reaction or interaction with them. And depending on where that reaction goes, some of them will be very, very honest with you and let you know, look, I'm not really interested in women, I'm interested in men. And I'm going to talk about a little bit about this is because um, nowadays we have throughout the 80s and the 90s, we will have straight women who, and here today, who love hanging around gay men, who love everything about gay men, and who will basically sleep with gay men, knowing that these gay men really is not really interested in you that way as far as a relationship. Gay men, if they can get a nut off, they will go ahead and get the nut off no matter what it is, whether it's a woman or whether it's a man. And this is how some of straight women, you know, basically have been contacting HIV and AIDS because they have been sleeping with gay men. And this is how gay men have been basically spreading HIV by way of sleeping with their wife, by way of sleeping with straight women, and not being true. And so this is a lot of ways how HIV and AIDS basically have been spread it, but there's other ways too. We won't go into that. We'll go into it a little bit more. But just so you know, straight women have had a history, and gay men have had a history of sleeping with each other. And some of them will tell you they're not, I mean, they're not, some of the women will tell you that they're, they sleep. And, I don't know why they do it. I mean, it is what it is. Sex is what it is. If you're trying to get a nut, you kind of get a nut. And some of the women, they do it. A lot of them do it. But anyway, we go on and we find out that Patty is okay. So we see that Stan is basically, on his way um, to meet his wife, Patty. He has no idea what Patty is about to present to him. He goes in and he sees that he is basically in a shrink's office. And Patty is basically there. And so Patty tells him and says, the reason why we're here is that we want to talk about your extra curriculum that you are having. And just for the record, and just so you know, I've already had a couple of sessions with, the doctor. And so Stan says, well, why are we here? And so is this couple counseling? And so the doctor, the psychologist says, well, basically, you might want to say that. And so this is when Patty basically tells Stan that she knows all of the tea. She knows, that the fact that you have been sleeping with a trans woman, that you also have set up an apartment for this trans woman, and that you have had a relationship with her along with myself. And so when Stan found out that Patty knew all of the information and everything, he pretty much put two and two together, and he pretty much realized that Matt, his boss, basically gave Patty all of the information. And so we go on and we see that Stan is very upset. He's extremely upset, and he should be upset. And the reason why he's upset is because Matt is basically, gave all the information to his wife. That the fact that has another person on the side. And this man he shouldn't have really done that. That wasn't cool, but due to the fact that Stan and Matt got into it, and of course Matt overpowered Stan, and he wind up um losing the fight and everything. But here's the kicker. Stan Matt has no idea that Angel is a trans woman. All he sees is a beautiful woman, and basically she is, a beautiful woman. But he has no idea that um Angel has a little bit something extra, a little bit something special. That basically this is what Stan is basically attracted to, like like Alexis Alexis sugar daddy, which said it in episode, I think it was 3 or 4, that he likes his women with a little something special, meaning that he still has his private parts, he still have his penis, and that's what is attracted to him. But anyway, we go on, and then we see that Patty and Stan is basically having a conversation, and basically Patty basically read the riot act to Stan, and told Stan that, look, I know what's going on, and this is the deal. Due to the fact that you already have an apartment, I'm going to tell the kids that you have extra work to do, and that you're not here because of the extra work. You're going to be staying in that apartment that you already have. So it's not like I'm kicking you out and you don't have a place to go. You do have a place to go. And so while Stan hears all of this information and everything, he basically did break down, and he basically did start crying. And so Patty asked him a simple question. Well, what are you? I mean, what is the deal? What is the attraction? Why did you step out? Are you a gay man? I mean, what are you? Do you know who you are? And as you know, as we go through this, this episode, through polls, through finding out and Stan finding out who his authentic self is, he is having challenges. He knows that he has these attraction for trans women, and he doesn't know why, but he has it. He has attraction for his wife, and he has an attraction for, Angel, because it did take them a while before they did get sexual, before they did get involved with being sexually active with each other. And Patty knew this because Angel basically told Patty that it took them a while before they even decided to do anything, and eventually it did. And so we're back at the ballroom, and Pray Tell is basically having it. Pray Tell is going through it. The reason why Pray Tell is really going through it is because he keeps playing the same. He keeps playing the same message. He keeps playing the same song. And the title of the song, "Love Is the Message," and it's a good song. It's a good disco song. But everybody is, really, really getting really upset that Pray Tell is playing the same thing over and over and over. And of course, we see the ballroom, and the category is Butch Queen. Wait, let me make sure. The category is Butch Queen, I believe. Yeah, Butch Queen Realness. And this is where we get to see Ricky basically do his thing again. And so this is the second category that Ricky wins, because we know that Ricky is one of those gay men that could be right beside you and you would never know that he's a gay man. So he wins this category. But at the same time, everybody is kind of getting tired of Pray Tell, is because he's playing the same thing. And so the House of Evangelistic, Bianca's crew, want to basically do an intervention with Pray Tell. And so basically they, invite Pray Tell over for dinner. And so everybody sits down, and we find that Pray Tell finds out the reason why, the House of Evangelistic wants to do an intervention. And of course, he got very, very upset. He didn't really like it. And yes, as all queen men do, as all gay children do, and of course, Pray Tell wasn't having it. Yes, he read each and every one of them. And to make a long story short, he just tell them, look, mind your own business. Until then, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want to do. So we find out the reason why Pray Tell was, playing the same old song, playing, drinking, overextending and drinking, is because his partner is basically dying. We know that he's going to die. And so Pray Tell basically goes to visit his lover. And the theory that I love about this was a very, very moving. This lover told Pray Tell and said, look, I want you to do what you have to do. After I'm passed, I am going to die, and I'm not coming back out. And basically, Pray Tell didn't really want to hear it, but he told Pray Tell, he says, go ahead and do what you got to do. Cry your ball, cry for a day. But after you cry for a day, get over it. I want you to go and find love. I don't want you to waddle. I want you to live your life. And so this particular, after he had Pray Tell's partner had, had this information and told Pray Tell this, we find out that Pray Tell and his partner basically have been together for well over 10 years. And we also find out that Pray Tell's lover was had a new nurse, which was She was very, very a good nurse. And so this one particular time when Pray Tell goes to visit, we find out the nurse tells Pray Tell asks her why is it so dimmy and everything, and of course she was, on her feet. She was a good person. She was a good nurse, and so she tells Pray Tell, look, we don't really have the budget to make things right. You're the decorator. Why don't you do something? And so this is when we find out that Pray Tell comes up with an idea as doing a special event. And so he gets together and he goes to see Bianca. Yeah, he sees Bianca. And he tells Bianca that, he basically wanted to do something, at the hospital. At that time, Bianca tells Pray tells that I basically won't be able to make it. It's because I have a date. And so at the first category, we see that it is this one particular man who have a Butch Queen Will man who have been looking at Bianca and who had asked for a date. And Bianca was very, excited due to the fact that she really hasn't been going out on a date. And so we find out that this particular man, all of the girls basically have had him because the reason why we find out that this Darius, I think that's Darius, I think that's Darius, has been with all of the women. And we have one particular woman who had just finished her post-op. And she said that once Darius finds out that you had a post-op, he basically doesn't really want to really deal with you anymore. So there are men like that. And so we find out. And so Bianca was kind of really got really, upset due to the fact that this man's basically been with all of the trans and probably regular women. We don't know. And so we go on and we find out a little bit more about um, Bianca. So we didn't really see too much about Electra. But we go on and we find out that Electra was the only one that really visited Bianca in the hospital, and Alexis read her. Bianca read Alexis, and so we go on and we find out that Electra is really trying to change the way she basically treats her children. And so we go on and we see that Pray Tell and Bianca basically, does the event for the HIV AIDS patient that's in the hospital. And Bianca does Home, and Pray Tell does another song. I don't really know the name of it, but I do remember Home. So it was very good, very well done. So we go on, and then we see that we're back at the ball scene. And this time around, we're still in the category of Butch Queen realness. And this is when we see Butch Queen wellness, and this is when we see Poppy. And Poppy wins his first category is because I think he is doing, I don't know who but the Butch Cream Wellness. And so Poppy basically wins the category, and Poppy basically gets his first category. And so we go on and we see that we're back in the back, and well after the Butch Queen Wellness, after Pray Tell has done the category, we find out that Pray Tell gets a phone call from the hospital, and we find out that his lover has basically passed on. And it was a good thing that his lover had the second nurse and not the first nurse. It's because the second nurse gave Praytel a phone call to let him know that his partner has passed. And he was able to basically deal with it a little bit better because he was prepared. And so we're back in the ballroom again. And this time, and I said that Poppy wins his first category, and they're playing Love. Love is the message. And so after Pray Tell, does the category again, because we're still dealing with Butch Queen realness, we're still dealing with men who are gay, but you would never know that they're gay, and who could pass for straight men. And this is when we meet up with Darius again. And so apparently what has happened is that Bianca stood Darius up, and he wanted to know why Bianca stood him up. And so this is where we see all of the women basically surrounds Darius, and basically they all let Darius know, what you are. You're basically, a gigolo. You're basically, you slept with all of the women that's, been in the ballroom. And then this is the end. Sorry I'm late with the review and the recap. I've been very, very busy. Um, but I wanted to make sure that I got this recap and review out to you all. It's going to be very, very interesting. It's because Patty has basically threw Stan out. So therefore that means that leaves the door open for Angel. When I say it leaves the door open for Angel, she wanted Stan to be a little bit more available for her, a little bit more there for her. And by Patty throwing Stan out, this opens up the door, but I don't think it's going to um be good for her. I'm not quite sure. And then with Elektra. Now we know that Elektra partner of 10 years specifically told her that if you go and you have this operation, things are going to change. And so we're on we'll be going into episode 7, and I believe we have 2 more episodes. And we're going to see what the consequences of Elektra and her having this post-op, removal of her genitals. It's not going to go well for her. I believe it's not going to go well for her. I don't know. And then we also know that Bianca still has no idea that Poppy is a drug dealer. So that's going to be some challenging. He wins his first category, he wins his first trophy, but yet at the same time, he's going to put himself in jeopardy by losing the home that he has basically, been taken in by Bianca. And then we have Percy. Praytel, I'm sorry. We have Praytel. We don't know exactly what's going to go on with Praytel. Is he going to go on and find love, or is he still going to remain, remain by himself? And Bianca has yet to find love. So, in the meantime, this is All Things Cheryl. We'll see you Monday or Tuesday for the review and recap of episode 7. And I believe episode 8 will be coming soon. So, like for you all to, join, be a subscriber, hit the notification, And continue to come in and to check, share the video and continue to check on me, to see, what reviews and what, movies or basically television shows that I'll basically be reviewing. August is coming up, and we know that Greenleaf is upon us. So the next time, remember, love is for everyone, and I should see you all soon. Peace and love.